Okay. Let's see. Okay, so why cannot I see the screen? Damn it. Okay, done. Okay, so welcome back, guy. Today we're gonna study, keep practicing about IELTS speaking. So let's get into it. So our first topic today will be about keeping healthy. In what ways do you try to stay healthy? Interesting question. So currently, there are two things that I am performing to remain my health, which are doing exercise and eating balance. The okay. hmm And when it comes to which are in what ways do you try to stay healthy? Interesting question. So currently, I there are two things that I'm doing now. The first thing is all about doing exercise, which I often, run or have a jog for like 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes a day. And the second thing is all about eating balance, in which I cut off the junk foods, and eat organic foods. What do you think is more important, eating healthy or doing exercise? Hmm. Fascinating. Fascinating. Let's see. Mm, in my opinion, I would prefer to go for uh, having a healthy diet. This is because it's all about the research I read about a year ago. I read a year ago. So that this research show that even though even no matter how hard do you do exercise, but how hard do you do exercise, you don't do but you don't do if you don't have a do not have a healthy diet, the result will be all it will go meaningless. So but if you're eating healthy, and even though you do very little exercise, your body will still stay healthy. So in what part of your lifestyle would you most like to make healthier? hmm. Let's see. So I think that now I will try to do more exercise, because currently I am a student, and as well as a content creator for company, and these two, and the time for me to spend for exercise now is not much. And as I mentioned before, I only have for like 30 minutes a day to do exercise. So yeah, if I had a chance to change, to make myself better, I would say that I will, do more exercise. Mhm. So what do you? Let's talk about days off. What do you do on your day off? Let's see. Um, currently. Oh, hmm. So currently, I like well, as I mentioned before, I often spend a lot of time to work and to study at school, so I don't have much time for myself to rest and to do exercise. But which is why during my day off, which is Saturday and Sunday, I would prefer to lay on my bed and do not think about job and study. Yeah. So do you usually spend your days off with your parents or with your friends? Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, well, according to my schedule now, I have Saturday and my Sunday are my days off, and for Saturday I use that time for my family, and for Sunday, I use it for I utilize it for my friends hanging out or like chatting or playing video games with them. Yeah. What do you want to have more days off? Do you want to have more days off? Hmm. Uh, I would say that I desperately want it. I desperately want it because I only have to me we are working hard for like 5 days a week and only have 2 days to rest. It's not enough for me. It's insufficient for me to to recover my mental health. So if I want at least 3 to 4 days so that I can spend more time to cleaning my house or traveling with my friends. Yeah. So let's talk about bags. Do you usually carry a backpack? Um, I would say I always do that. I always do that because backpack to me is like a necessity. Yeah, something that a necessary item that I cannot live without it. I mean, it doesn't just play a crucial role in helping me in carrying my stuff such as a laptop and personal items like skincare and so on, but it also will helps me to carry clothes and so on. Mhm. So what kind of bag do you like to carry? Hmm. Let's see. I am the kind of person who like to do exercise, so when it comes to choosing bag to carry, I would say that uh, someone that's the bag that is huge and a little bit heavy because it will just it because it will not just help me bring a lot of stuff, but it also a good way for me to train my back and my shoulders. Do you often change bags? I would say that I rarely change it. Yeah, I rarely change them because to me that I am not kind of like a fashion man who running from the trend. I just not like going to the market, choosing a bag, and then I will carrying it for many years. So let's talk about tea and coffee. Do people like tea and coffee nowadays? Mm, do people here? I would say, let's see. I would say yes, especially the young like me. Um, this question is to me is also depends on the age that you are asking because when it comes to young people like me, we do like tea and coffee because it's the good way to keep us awake all day. But when it comes to the old, they they have strong interest in coffee and tea nowadays because it's a good way for them to sit down, relax, and contemplate about their life. Do you ever offer tea or coffee to guests? Mm-hmm. Absolutely yes. I mean, so, sorry about that. Absolutely yes. I mean, in Vietnamese culture, that is a point of welcoming guests in Vietnamese culture. Yeah, it is a welcoming culture in Vietnamese, a welcoming guest culture in Vietnam. I mean, we usually offer some a little bit better coffee and tea because and in addition to that, that coffee or tea it has to be warm or hot because offering the cold one will be a little bit impolite. Yeah. Do you think drinking tea or coffee is a common habit in your country? Hmm. Absolutely yes. According to a statistic online, they mentioned that Vietnam is the third is the third country among the world consuming coffee and tea the most, because we have some like coffee and tea plantations. So yeah, and the reason and putting that aside, putting that aside, and the main reason for another reason for coffee and tea, consuming tea and coffee is a common habit in Vietnam, is because uh, it it helps us to stay awake and contemplate, or maybe contemplate about our life. Do you think people preferences for tea and coffee change as they get older? Hmm, interesting question. Um, I would say yes. In my opinion, I would say yes, because tea and coffee, not just tea and coffee will change. And as far as I know, the tea and coffee in Vietnam, for people, will become much more better when people get older. So, for example, my father, when he was for like 20 years, 20 years old, he often drink some you know sugar, tea and coffee with more sugar. But now he is about a middle age. He is about middle age, and he would choose to drink some better coffee or maybe tea. Yeah. So let's talk about inventions and inventors. Can you name any other inventions that have made a big impact on human society? Hmm. There are so many. Let's see. There are so many inventions and creations that bring that have a huge impact. But to me, smartphone will have the biggest change in our social. And the reason for it is because the smartphone they not smartphone compared to telephone, traditional telephone, it is more convenient. It is cheaper. Yeah, it is cheaper, and it's convenient, more cheaper, and it has, it's a good way for us to access the humanity knowledge more easily. Yeah. So what do you think make an invention useful? Hmm. What makes an invention useful? Huh? Um, this to me, it depends on the factor that in marketing we often learn, that is uh, it meet their requirement or their demand. So for example, let's just say that you bought a computer to help you do some calculations or do some Excel. So if you buy a smartphone or a smartphone to do Excel, it will not be as convenient and efficient as buying desktop a desktop and laptop. So yeah, because buying it on, because using doing calculation on computers, it will offer you more options and more functions. So yeah, which is why it meets so many people's demand. What new inventions would you like to be available in the future? Hmm, let's see. Uh, I would say that a frying car. Yeah, a frying car. I want it since I was a child, and in the and the reason I want in the future. I think that especially in Vietnam, where the traffic is so congested, and which is why having a a flying car in the future will help the government and the citizen in Vietnam to to resolve the traffic jam situation. So let's talk about ambitions. What are your career ambitions or goals? Interesting. Um, so my let's see. Currently, I just graduated my university. I just graduated my university, and I am on my gap year. I am on my gap year to recover myself, recover my mental state. So yeah, when it comes to choosing career ambitions, I divided into three goals, which is short terms, which is the which is short terms, which that which is short term. I want to be divided into three categories. In short term, which I want to be to become a seasoned employee in a company that match my in the position, and a company that match my major in university. In middle term, about 3 to 5 years, I want to be I want to study a master degree in business administrations, because I want to learn deeply about how to manage and manage and control an organization and business, as well as run it. And in the long term, for like about more than 5 years to 10 years, I want to be a top a high a high manager in a company and in the major that I wanted, yeah, that I study, yeah. So is it important to have ambitions? Absolutely yes. Having ambitions will not just help you, become less vague, less vague about your life, but it is a good way for you to to develop yourself, because our human from the beginning of our period, like prehistoric period, we are the kind of animal we all have been the kind of animals that we have been the kind of animals that have to work to develop. So and we which is why having ambitions will help us to develop ourselves better, and and for in over in the general view, it will help our society become much better, become outstanding, and prosperous. Yeah. What was what were your ambition when you were a child? Hmm. Let's see. When I 10 years ago, when I was like 10 years old, I used to want to be a designer. Yeah, a professional designer, because I because I am an artistic person. So yeah, artistic person who craving for like person who crave for enjoying art and art music and you know performing, yeah, and perform and art performance, yeah, stage performance. So yeah, and to me, looking at some poster or some watching some looking some poster or watching some movies. At that time, for me, I was stunned by the graphics and the visual effects they use, which is why I desperately wanted to be a designer when I was a child. Okay, so let's talk about. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So describe someone who just moved in your country to your community and brought positive influence to that. Let's see. Mhm. Mhm. Your cousin. Here we go. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about someone who have lived, who have moved to my moved into my community and brought positive influence. That is Num. Lum, he is my cousin. He's a cousin of mine, and he came to us. He came to our place for like 2 years ago, and the reason why he came is because he had to go to college. He go to college, and he don't want to hire any hotel to stay. So that is why he came to our place, to our living area to live. So when Lum came to our place, he is an active person, active and enthusiastic person who who have a lot of ambitions. So and our place is well known for being dull and inactive, which we didn't hold so many activities. So Num came to our place, and he started he started the fire. Yeah, he set a fire into our place by organizing running activities to connect people each other, or maybe, and then he organized a campfire at night for people in our area, our in our district. We say our district, to gather together and talk together, gather together and talked, so that we understood more. So currently, yeah, currently Num is a little bit busy with his study. Still, he's trying to spend. He still tries to spend for like 1 or 2 days every week to talk with our to brand, and to implement his brand, to connect, to help our community to bond to each other, and our and the people living in my area uh, spend to him spend for him a strong admiration and interest, which is why when he is kind of like a super idol in my place, and the children at my place is like in my living area is like seeing him, considering him a teacher. So in the future, I would say that for like 2 months later, yeah, in the next 2 months, Lum and I have a plan for like is having a plan for like organizing a cycling activity to enhance my our living area's health. And I think that that will be an interesting event, fascinating events. And the preparation the preparation process is going so well. And of course Lam is a leader, and I will play a role in supporting him. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that Lam will keep staying in our living Nam will keep staying in our living region, even if he graduate, or going graduate and going to work. Okay, so what kinds of people tend to live by themselves? Hmm. I would say that, in my opinion, I would say that introvert people will be the person who like to depend on themselves rather than other people. There's a research about studying about the main facts comparing about extroverts and introverts living in a community. So the result of it was amazing. They show that extrovert people tend to rely more on people from every task, such as cooking or studying. Meanwhile, introvert ones show the opposite. They do it. They literally do anything by themselves. So to me that, and in addition to that, I would say that introvert person will. In addition to that, I would say that those who have a strong, you know, who have a stable career, a stable lifestyle with they. I would say that in addition to introvert introverts, in addition to introverts, I would say that those who has a career, have a stable career, will live by themselves. They are like because they are not interested in having a children, getting having a children, and they just want to work and enjoy their life. So, what skills do you think young people need to learn in order to live independently? Um, could you give me a moment to think about it? Let's see. Um, in my opinion, and uh, and this is based on my experience, and there are three skills that young people must learn. I would use the word must because it's vital. Yeah, it's vital. The first skills is about swimming skills. This will help you to avoid being dive from the water. Yeah. The the second skills is all about driving skills. Is driving skills. It's not about driving a truck or a container. It's just about driving a car, and this is because uh, car is now more available. It is more available to people like us comparing to the past, and by having a driving license and having a strong level of driving skills will help you. Even if you are become unemployed, you will still become a taxi driver, an Uber driver, to make your living. Yeah. And the other skills that you need to learn is to know at least two foreign language. In Vietnamese, that could be English and Chinese, and maybe in Japan that could be English and French, for instance. So having a language, knowing foreign languages will not just help you able to communicate to work with native speakers, but it is it is it will open a lot of opportunity for you to opportunities for you to work more in some of in many positions. Mhm. So how can parents and teachers help young people to live independently? I think that the best way for them to help young people is to stop interfering in their life. Stop help parents and teachers to help young people to live independently is to stop interfering their life. I remember that yes, and I used to read uh, a paper about comparing a group of parents or a group of teachers when they continually supervise their children, and and for like 24/7, and the other group only supervise for like 10 hours for like half of it. Yeah. So the result was surprising. Those who are thought to those who are supervised, the groups that are supervised for like 10 hours a day will show a much more level of independence compared to the other groups. And the scientists concluded that by letting the children to do everything they want, and parents or teachers only spend a small amount of time to supervise them, will increase their independent level significantly. Yeah. Okay, so who have more difficulty when moving home, young or old people? Hmm. Let's see. Um, I would say that young people. In my opinion, I would go for young people because old people they live for like years, so they have a lot of experience in choosing a house to live, or consider which one is consider their living area to optimize their finance and their health. So for instance, like, but young people, they are unable to do that. So for example, uh, a 18 years old who first go to college, who, who first goes to college, and he is considering which house should he rent, he will meet so many difficulties because he had never done it before. So as a result, he might have to move constantly, and each time he moves, he will face so many new problems. But old people, they can handle it so easily. I mean, they know what criteria should they choose to rent a house, and that could be about the price, the space, or maybe the living area. Oh, the old one, they can overcome those problems so easily. Yeah. So is it good to move house frequently? Um, I would say that a, it's a terrible idea to move house frequently, because moving house usually takes people a great deal of time, and which can help which can interfere a lot of aspects in our life, such as study or work. So uh, when every time you have to move a house, we always have to consider, like, what what shipping company should you offer, should you hire, or like, how can you maintain your stuff, like the fridge, the kitchen, yeah, the kitchen equipments, yeah. So that will makes you distracted from other jobs, uh, such as doing more job to getting promoted, yeah, for example. hmm So which is why, well, people should try to remain stable in one house rather than moving regularly. Okay, good.